Let's solve this system using matrices. Notice I went ahead and wrote down the matrix of the coefficients. So this is the coefficient of x's, coefficient of the y's, z's, and constants. This is still my first row, and I'm working my way down the first row. I want to make this a 0, so it will be -3 times this element plus this element, and I continue that throughout. -3 times this element plus this element, and so on. Let's at the same time work on making this element a 0. So notice I'm working down this first row. To make this a 0, I'll multiply this by -2 and add it to that. So -2 times 1 plus 2, -2 times -1 plus 3, -2 times -1 plus 0, and then -2 times 0 plus a -5 or -5. Let's go ahead and simplify this. This is now 1, -1, -1, 0. -3 times 1 plus 3, that's 0 like we want. That is 3 minus 1 or 2. This is 3 minus 5 or -2. This is 0 minus 2 or -2. This is 0 like we want. 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. And 0 minus 5 is -5. I've completed my work on the first row. Next, remember we want to work on the main diagonal, so let's make this a 1. Let's divide this second row through by 2. I'm writing down the first row again. I'll divide every element in the second row by 2. So that's 0, and then 2 divided by 2 is 1. -2 divided by 2 is -1, and then I have -1, 0, 5, 2, -5. What's left? I want to make this a 0, so that's 1, -1, -1, 0. That's 0, 1, -1, -1, and that's 0. How can I make this a what? A 0? Use your second row, multiply every element in this row by -5 and add it to this row. So -5 times 0 plus 0 is 0. -5 times this plus this is 0. -5 times this is 5 plus 2 is 7. And -5 times this, that is 5 minus 5 is 0. And what's left? We'll just make this a 1. So write down the first row. Be very careful and very neat when working with matrices. Write down the second row. And then write down the third row, but I'll divide the third row through by 7. 0 divided by 7 is 0. Same thing, 0. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 0 divided by 7 is 0. Now, I'll let you write these back as equations, but notice your last line, that is z is equal to 0, so you actually have the z value. Z is equal to 0. Then work your way up. This is y minus z is equal to -1. Solve for y. You'll have that it's -1. Then this is x minus y minus z is 0. Solve for x. X is -1. There's your solution.